And, you know, if Cornell can go to the right people and use your tremendous lobbying ability to ask the right people for money to give us air quality monitoring on Roosevelt Island like they should have here, rather than,
you know,
right, and not have to use participatory budgeting money, because otherwise other projects get short shrift that we also need here. Then that would be tremendously helpful.
Ellen's got a great point, and I'll just tell you that the number is on, just so you have ballpark kind of numbers, on the order of $200,000. I'll send you the information on it, and whatever you can do to, you know, include this. The benefit is, I mean, we're looking for this is not just during the Cornell construction thing. We're looking at this as a 30-year effort, you know, because there's a lot of air quality issues just in this general area here, and also, you know, from your point of view, you know, you might find a value in it in that it, you know, gets rid of false positives, which is something that you're probably concerned about because you have reference data that's elsewhere, that a problem that you discover is not really on your side, it's just, you know, regional and stuff like that. I'm saying there's an advantage to, you know, participating in this. I'll send it to you, and then you can hopefully use your poll to push it for.
Thanks a lot with the poll, but just real quick, more of a push. Does the city have any plans to expand the Plan YC type testing to Roosevelt Island, or not, as far as you know?
They're planning the Department of Health.
Right.
The purpose of this funding is to buy more monitors, and they would be right, and to expand the network, and then they would be providing the operational funding to do the monitoring on this. Thank you. Thank you for taking my question.
Okay, I understand. Yeah.
I'm thinking about the rescheduling of the groundbreaking for mid-June of this year. Assuming the ice is off the site in June, which may be assuming a lot, I'm wondering what we're likely to see at that point. Will there be excavation of foundations going on? Will foundations be coming up at that point? What's your estimation?
Yes, it will.
Foundations actually rising above?
It'll be in progress.
In progress.
Yeah, on the north side of the site. On the south side of the site would be the completion of demolition, regrading, that sort of thing. We don't know yet where the event would be. We have a lot of work to do to figure that out.
Just stay tuned, is all.
Well, I'm looking forward to the April blizzards.
Earth Day is coming up.
Yes.
You mentioned that the public safety team is talking with the schools to figure out what their traffic flow is, so that you guys can, is that just, I guess he knows all schools, does he know all Fresh Direct trucks, Red Bus, FedEx, UPS, and mainly I'm worried about emergency vehicles. I'm just not sure. It gets jammed up so quickly on that one little street.
Yeah, I mean, I think from that perspective, the schools are the key in terms of public safety.
So there's many child schools, and then there's this public
they have crossing guards.
They have crossing
guards.
They have,
right.
PSD takes care of both schools.
Okay.
Just one of the big blocking vehicles are the ones that kind of come up to pick up the disabled people.
Yeah.
That's one of the
accessorized.
Accessorized.
Yeah,
those are one of the major blockers of
the double parkers.
The double,
Right.
And that Fresh Direct.
and then they're out there for a certain amount of period of time because it takes a while to get.
But even more than that, because you deal with that Manhattan's a mess too. It's these emergency vehicles. How can they get off the island if there's? I mean, is there a contingency?
If what?
If there's the Fresh Direct, the UPS, the Children's, and the Crossable.
And someone having a heart attack.
Someone has a heart attack. You know, just like the regular stuff we see all the time.
Right.
That's what I haven't figured
Yeah,
out.
and I don't have an answer for that other than,
all right.
you know, we're, you know.
You don't work for your work schedule either.
No,
I mean,
it's not,
honestly,
that stuff isn't good for
win-win
anybody.
on
Right,
both sides to not have it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think it's a management issue. I think that you know, that's one thing.
Is that like a re-up PSD?
Yeah, as our communication continues, as our weekly projections talk about which, you know, when we're going to have deliveries and when we're not going to have deliveries, there's going to have to be some give and take about timing and all that.
If we didn't manage traffic, every truck would be there at 7 in the morning.
No, that's ridiculous. I
Right.
Well, that,
Yeah.
and
That would
that's
work for
why
anyone.
it's gonna be spread out
Yeah.
and managed during the day.
Right, yeah, a lot of it is on our side to actively manage it, to make sure that it's spread out during the day.
Yeah, I don't, is
This
there
is
any
on
way
our radar.
a vehicle can't go around the other edge, right, Larry? Like, there's no, yes, I'm sorry, Mark.
Yeah, that's the point I was gonna bring up. Roosevelt Island is a little different from Manhattan. Yes, we only had that main street, but we have the advantage of the promenade, which was designed especially for emergency vehicles. So they can just go around and go right up the promenade and get right off and onto the bridge.
Okay, they can,
Absolutely, that's what it's for.
okay, great.
Just for the emergency vehicles, right?
Right, don't
Right.
try it, Larry.
Good to know.
Yes.
So are
Thank
you
you.
laying more gas lines to get to your area? Like, do you have to?
We are not,
Are there gonna have to be, gas lines put down to get over to the Cornell site?
no, the gas line is already there. We're building a gas loop around our site that's gonna connect in with the already existing gas lines that are on Roosevelt Island. We understand, we've been hearing from Con Ed that they're gonna be upgrading the main that already exists, but it's not an additional line.
What does that mean, upgrading?
We don't know yet. We're as anxious as everyone to find out what that means. But there's a redundancy issue too. Right now, gas for Roosevelt Island only comes from Queens, as we understand it. And part of their project is to bring it from Manhattan as well, so that it is able to be more redundant. I think I mentioned that earlier. Someone asked a question about the electricity, so that they haven't attacked yet. But the gas will, when the project is done, provide gas from Manhattan as well as from Queens,
Now, is
which
that
doesn't happen now.
an existing tunnel? Would that be?
Yes, it is an existing tunnel. It's a matter of changing out the valves and changing the way delivery works so that they can get gas either from Manhattan or Queens.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is really almost a silly question, but how long do you have in a concrete truck before it becomes too hard to work with?
Now,
1 hour. And then if it doesn't make it, it has to go back?
every truck gets tested, there's a testing agency that'll test it, and they'll be able to tell if it's been sitting for too long.
And if it's over its shelf
Gets
life,
dumped.
Right.
you send it back and
Send
start
it back,
again?
yeah.
Oh, it doesn't become Phil?
Is it, just to elaborate on Julie's question, is it typical, you know, in other construction sites that concrete trucks get there and they find out that they can't, for whatever reason, they can't dispose of the concrete? Is that a?
Not the ones that stay in business.
Makes sense.
It is a challenge. I think people have thought that the concrete truck, and we do understand that they're impactful, that they would all come together, but that's actually not the case.
No.
Right? They come, because you can't pour 10 trucks at the same time, so, yeah.
Where are they coming from?
Mostly Queens and Brooklyn, and they're probably the cleanest trucks that you'll see. They take pretty good care of the concrete trucks. I mean, they wash them down very thoroughly before they leave, and so that they're clean when they receive their load, it's inside, and they certainly don't want to spill any of their load coming over, because they only have so much, and they get, you know, these guys take pretty good care of their trucks.
How big are these trucks?
Sorry?
How big are the trucks?
Well, that's a good question. The requirements on Roosevelt Island, because of the bridge, are that the trucks are not actually full. We could reduce the number of trucks on Main Street pretty considerably if we could fill the concrete trucks and bring them over at a heavier number, which is more typical in the rest of the city. But the 36-ton limit on the bridge does not allow us to fill those trucks. So we could save 10%, maybe more, if we had actual full concrete trucks.
But they're not much longer than a Fresh Direct truck.
Oh, I'm sorry, physically?
Turn them
Physically,
length.
how
Oh,
big?
sorry.
Length.
I don't know, same as any other truck, I guess axle width.
They're not long.
No,
No.
they're shorter than a minibus and
You know, you see what they're.
probably slightly.
They go around and around. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, they're meant to be compact.
They're meant to be compact so they can
No, yeah,
access to
yeah.
confined
Yeah.
sites.
And they have lots of wheels
They're not gonna take
to
up
spread the load.
3 city blocks or something.
No, no.
Yeah.
Andrew, how does the capacity of the bridge compare with the capacity of the Helix and Main Street in the North Town area?
I don't know the answer to the other two questions. All I know is the bridge is the only one that has a sign on it that says 36-ton limit, and we've spoken with DOT about that. But I don't know if engineers would have a calculation of what the design load for Helix was or for the road is. I don't know the
The
answer
Main
to that.
Street is pretty easy.
Is what?
Pretty cheesy.
Yeah, I don't know what standards it was built to.
Facility underneath it.
Yeah.
People, I promised Urban American Management that we would be out of here, because their staff stays, and so they asked me, to be out of here a few minutes, before 8 if we can. So, are there any last questions for Andrew? Otherwise, we'll wrap up. And I do want to say that, maybe you saw my note that I'm only in our community space, during the month of, well, now, it was February and March on Wednesdays, because it's so cold in the gallery. So I'm just there on Wednesdays with my heaters. So starting in April, however, I will be there back to 2 days a week. Hopefully April, we will not have snowstorms, in April. Just also a reminder that our next meeting, it is April 27th. Again, we'll try to make that in the gallery. And then please just mark on your calendars, if you will, that after that it's July 27th and October 27th.